Right, I now want us to switch gears and talk a little bit about the Building Bridges initiative. And don't let these pictures confuse you right now. I'll tell you why we had them at the moment. But I want to show you this. In case some of you are wondering where the process is so far in terms of the BBI, let me give you a quick summary. After that landmark ruling about 2 weeks ago, anyone keen to file an appeal had 14 days to file that notice of appeal and then 30 days to file that substantive appeal. And that's why we have the number 30 here, those 30 days. Now, some of those who have indicated interest in filing appeals include the Attorney General, the IEBC, and the BBI Secretariat. But all focus will now be on the new Court of Appeal President, Justice Daniel Musinga. There we go. There's the man himself. He was elected by his peers in the Appellate Court in an exercise that was conducted by the electoral body, the IEBC. Now, this new president takes over from William Ouko, who was elevated to the Supreme Court. And his first major assignment will be to constitute a bench that will hear and determine appeals filed to contest a 5-judge High Court verdict that declared the BBI-driven referendum clamor unconstitutional. And as Francis Gashuri now tells us, ODM Chief Raila Odinga, one of the appellants, has termed that High Court judgment a temporary setback in the constitutional amendments journey.
It's all eyes on Judge Daniel Musinga, hours after he assumed office as the Court of Appeal President. Musinga was elected by his 12 colleagues in the Court of Appeal in a poll conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Musinga replaces William Ouko, who was appointed judge of the Supreme Court and sworn in last Friday by President Uhuru Kenyatta, alongside new Chief Justice Martha Koome.
Both of you, at least, we mmetoka from grassroots huko, mmekuwa in the system. Hakuna kukusomesha chochote. Fanya haki tu. Na sisi hatutakuwa na shida.
The new appellate court president joined the second highest court in the land in November 2012 after a 9-year stint in the High Court. In his entry is the appointment of a bench to hear and determine 3 appeals filed by the BBI National Secretariat, IEBC, and Attorney General Paul Kihara Kariuki, contesting a verdict 2 weeks ago by 5 High Court judges, stopping the constitutional amendment push. The 3 appellants have already sought stay orders, arguing that implementation of the High Court judgment would disadvantage them. ODM leader Raila Odinga, whose handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018 gave rise to the BBI-driven clamor for constitutional changes, was in Kisumu town, where he likened the High Court judgment to a temporary setback in the journey to a referendum. The Court of Appeal currently has 13 judges, from which Musinga has to constitute a bench to hear and determine the BBI appeals. Other than himself, other appellate judges that he will pick a bench from include Milton Asike Makandia, Patrick Kiage, Gatembu Kairu, Kathurima Mtoinoti, who also sits in the East African Court of Justice, Roslyn Namboye, Wanjiru Karanja, Hannah Okwengu, Mohamed Warsame, Agnes Murgo, Fatuma Sichale, Jamila Mohamed, and Sankale Ole Kantai. And as protagonists in the BBI case prepare for a legal tussle in the Court of Appeal, the Interreligious Dialogue Reference Group renewed calls for all-inclusive talks to resolve long-standing historical issues that result in a contested political season every electoral cycle.
Unless the ongoing judicial process reverses the ruling of the High Court, this process will have been stopped. What should concern all of us as Kenyans is that the condition of the necessitated by handshake and BBI still remain. The feeling of exclusion, the unresolved historical injustices, toxic politics, and endemic political-driven ethnic divisions have been heightened.
Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.